Hello and welcome. You're watching The Money Show. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and this show is a one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries, and especially for all the SIP investors. This show is very important for you because we'll be talking about the market fall and your dropping profits in the portfolio, especially if you talk about mid-cap and small-cap funds. So what should be your strategy going ahead? And even if you need to realign your portfolio and reshuffle your portfolio, what exactly should you be doing in terms of what asset class or what market cap strategy? What kind of funds should you be exiting from? We'll discuss all of this today. Our focus will be on our viewer queries. We'll be having experts who will be answering your portfolio queries. And before I switch on to that part of the show, let me flash our WhatsApp number where you can reach out and send across your financial details so that we can help you out in your financial strategies. Our WhatsApp number is 865-797-4571. We also have an email ID where you can send across your question, which is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So these two places where you can send across your entire portfolio details, and we will do your live financial planning on the show. All right, so let's begin. And on the show today, I have two financial planners who will be answering and speaking to our viewers live. I have Pankaj Mathpal, who is the MD of Optima Money Managers. I also have Varun, Fatehpuria, founder and CEO, Daulat Wealth Management. Good evening and welcome both of you. So it's going to be a very interesting viewer query session today because I would need you guys to handhold our viewers when it comes to long-term investing and when it comes to market falls, especially a day like today. And we've seen a lot of volatility already going on in the market, and a lot of SIP investors are actually worried about continuing their investment in specific categories. So whatever you guys answer, please also give them a way ahead and a reason to be in the equity market and why they should be investing in a disciplined manner as well. Let's begin. And I think, Pankaj, I have this first question for you. This is from Aarya. He says he's 25 years old. In his portfolio, he's been investing in Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, 10,000 rupees, UTI Nifty 50 Index Fund, 7,000, Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund, 4,000. He has Quant Small Cap, 4,000 again, and he wants you to guide his portfolio and his strategy. I think he wants to accumulate 75 lakh in 7 years. So in terms of fund selection, what should be his strategy? One very interesting thing about our viewer, Aarya, is that he is just 25 years old. So Aarya, first of all, congratulations there. At this age, you have thought about your investment strategies. You've actually, marked down a goal for yourself. You've also invested in right kind of funds, I would say. But then, it would have been nice if we had you on the phone line as well. But since we don't have that, Pankaj, how should he go ahead and what do you think about his funds?
Kavita, good evening. See, I do not have his question with me, but what you mentioned just now, I can answer this question. He has 7 years investment horizon, and considering that
Fund's
fact,
name?
I would suggest that
Pankaj,
he should
me to read out the fund's
should
name?
not have exposure to small cap at this moment. And the first thing, as you mentioned, he has quant small cap fund in his portfolio, so he can
Pankaj,
switch
can you
from
hear
small
me?
cap to large cap or flexi cap.
Pankaj,
That
can you
would be a
hear me?
better choice.
Pankaj, can you hear me? Do you want me to read out the fund's name?
Yeah, it will be better. One scheme I remember you
Yeah,
said
I
quant
will.
small
I
cap
will.
fund.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so see, there is Parag Parikh Flexi Cap. He's got UTI Nifty 50. He's got Motilal Oswal Mid Cap. And he's got a small cap from Quant. That's all.
Yeah. So see, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, category wise as well as the scheme wise, I would suggest the good fund and he should definitely continue his SIP in this scheme. Second, Nifty 50, that is large cap index fund, good choice. But about small cap and mid cap, see, both the funds are good. For only reason because, as you mentioned, he has 7 years investment horizon. So considering that fact, my suggestion would be he should reduce his exposure to small cap as well as to mid cap. See, he can have some exposure, but if he can reduce that exposure, that will be a better choice. Second thing regarding a target of 75 lakh rupees. Now, because he has been investing, so how much he has accumulated by now, that is very, very important. Second thing, in 7 years, even that would not help if I suggest him that he should opt for step up because step up strategy also in long term is very helpful. He should increase his investment year after year, but still he will have to increase his investment amount based on that how much he has accumulated by now. So two things: one, you should increase investment amount because in 7 years you want to achieve your target.
Right.
Second thing, your
Right.
exposure to small cap, mid cap should be reduced in terms of
Right.
SIP, as well as whatever amount you have accumulated by now. If it is a
Sure.
large amount, in that case, my suggestion would be that you should reduce your exposure to small cap and mid cap.
Right, Pankaj, I think this question was actually for Varun, but thank you so much. You know, you really gave a very elaborate answer. You did not even have the details also. Thank you so much for that. But Varun, there was a small mix-up. Which question was for which financial planner today? So I think this was for you. So yeah, you can go ahead with the strategy you might want to suggest, Arya.
Yeah, sure. Kavita, firstly, thank you for inviting me back on the show. And Arya, it's definitely heartening to see that you have decided to start your investment journey with mutual fund as an investment vehicle at such a young age. So definitely two thumbs up for that. As we could see in the portfolio, we do not have an understanding of what your risk appetite is, but given by the current constraints, definitely looks like a very aggressive 100% equity portfolio. As Pankaj just mentioned, if you want to reach a goal of 75 lakh in 7 years, I think you will have to slightly increase your investment amount from about 25,000 rupees that you're doing currently to about 45,000 rupees with a 10% step up. And if we assume that your investments are going to give you a compounded rate of return at about 12% over the next 6 to 7 years, it's only then that you will be able to reach your goal of 75 lakhs that you have set out for yourself. So do think about that. 25,000 rupees today will not suffice to help you reach that goal, assuming a slightly more conservative rate of return. But I think it's even more important that we moderate our return expectations going forward. That's number one. And number two, your portfolio looks quite compact and tight. One of the changes that I would recommend is slightly reduce our exposure to Parag Parekh Flexi Cap Fund from 10,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees and add a focused fund, something like an HDFC Focus 30 fund for 5,000 rupees. So this will give you a more rounded and a well-balanced portfolio while maintaining the downside at the same time, providing that upside exposure. And your mid cap and the small cap exposure, as we could see, is roughly about 30-35%. We feel in this market, if you're not very comfortable with the volatility, consider bringing that to about 25% of your overall portfolio.
All right, Arya, that's a solution to your question and the changes that you might want to do. You just need to add a few funds over here. All right, let's move. I think I have one more. We have other viewer from Kuwait, Kailash. Hi, Kailash. Good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening, ma'am, and thank you for having my question on the show.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. Tell me.
So my question was, ma'am, so I have my current corpus is around 5.5C, and I
Okay.
want to reach 100C in the next 25 years. So I would like your insights on what should be
Sure.
the additional SIP that I should be continuing to reach
Sure.
my goal.
Uh, so this is the first time you'll be investing in equity markets, or you're already an equity investor?
Already an equity investor. Like I have a mix of both direct equity and mutual funds as well.
So you already have a set of mutual funds, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
You have not shared those details with us. What if it's the same kind of
Oh,
strategy that we recommend to you now? It could be an overlap.
sure, ma'am. So I have SIPs in Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, Quant Mid and Small, and
I'm
then
noting it down because I don't have those details. One second. Parag Parik Flexi Cap, Quant.
Quant Mid and Small,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then ma'am Helios Flexi Cap,
Okay.
and
And
yeah, that's and then direct equity rest, stocks, direct ownership.
direct equity. Okay. 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 Uh, Perfect. So you've been investing in these funds since how long? And what's the amount invested? Is
Uh,
it lump sum or you're doing an SIP?
I'm doing SIP, ma'am, in all these funds, and so typically my SIP would be around 1.25 lakhs across these funds, and the rest is
Okay.
I have these stocks.
Sure. What's the overall value of the portfolio now?
Approx 5.5 CR.
5.5 CR. Okay, so this is the amount that you want to invest.
No, this is the
All
amount
your
that I
SIPs are
have. I
going
want
on?
to reach. Yes, all my SIPs are going on. I want to reach 100 CR.
Sure. All right. So, Pankaj, you have this question, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've got some additional details. You already has a portfolio, Parag Parekh Flexi Cap, Quant Mid and Small Cap, and Helios Flexi Cap. Apart from that, he wants to reach 100 CR in next 25 years. And 5.5 CR is something he is looking at investing right now.
See, Kailash, first thing I congratulate you that you have accumulated 5.5 crore by now, and still you have 25 years long investment horizon. So, as you mentioned, you have 5.5 CR, and if I assume 12% CAGR, you can expect around 93 crore in next 25 years, 93.50 crore. So it means you are very close to your target. You can easily achieve it. And you mentioned that you are investing 1,25,000 rupees per month through SIP. So achieving 100 crore in 25 years is not difficult. It looks very easy here. But one thing I want to mention here, that if you assume 6% inflation, the value of 100 crore after 25 years will be something like 23 crore rupees today. So you have to consider that thing if you keep that in mind. But otherwise, means amount, the target you have uh, taken, that itself is a big target, and you are close to that. Second thing regarding your existing portfolios, I do not know that they have invested in equity shares, and I'll not be able to recommend anything on the direct equity right now. But about mutual funds, the scheme you mentioned, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, Quant Mid Cap, Small Cap, as well as Helios uh, Helios Mid Cap Fund. So all the schemes you are mentioning, you can continue in these schemes. But one thing you have to keep in mind that markets are volatile, and especially about mid cap, small cap. I would like to say that valuations are very expensive. So at this moment, if you reduce the exposure to small cap, mid cap, that will be a better choice. And some schemes I would recommend you right now, where you can even means that 1,25,000 what you're investing right now, you can invest in these schemes out of the current portfolio. Also, if you want to switch some amount to these schemes, that could be a good choice. So HDFC Nifty 100 Index Fund, that is a large cap index fund. ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund, Motilal Oswal Large and Mid Cap Fund, and Bajaj Finserv Flexi Cap Fund. These are four funds which I would recommend to you. See, I'm not against mid cap or small cap, but considering valuation, my suggestion that at this moment, if you are invested more in large cap, mid cap, flexi cap, this kind of funds, and going forward, when the valuations come down or reasonable valuations are available, that time you can rebalance your portfolio. So these four schemes you can consider in your portfolio.
All right, Kailash, are you there with me? Any question you want to ask Pankaj?
Thank you very much, Mr. Pankaj and ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, all the best. Uh, all right, we will take Mani's question from Bangalore, but then before that, let's take a quick break. This question is for Varun, but then we'll take a quick break and answer Mani's query. Just in case you're watching the show live, even right now, if you want to send across your questions, you can do that on our WhatsApp number and email ID. So we can have your live financial planning done on the show. So let's take a quick break, and post that, we'll answer Mani's question. Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show and we are answering your portfolio queries. I have with me Varun Fatehpuria and Pankaj Mathpal as our experts today. And Varun, this question is for you. This is from Money, who's from Bangalore. He says that he's 48 years old and looking to invest for 10 years, and he wants to accumulate 3 CR. You have his portfolio details. I will not put in much time in reading out his details since you already have it. So yeah, you can begin with the kind of strategy you want to recommend to him.
So, hi, Mani. We have gone through the portfolio that you have shared with the Money Show, and there are a couple of points that I would like to make. Number one, if you want to accumulate total of 3 CR in the next 10 years, and I hope this is an inflation-adjusted amount, given the value of what 3 CR today is, it is going to be significantly less in the next 10 years. But even if we keep that as a goal, you need to do an SIP of about 90,000 rupees every month with a 10% step up every year to be able to reach your goal of 3 CR in the next 10 years, assuming your investments grow at about 12 to 13%. Right. So I hope you have kept that in mind. Number two, you say that you are also able to increase your investment amount by about 15 or 1,000 rupees. So this is what the portfolio that we have prepared for you, given what the markets are. ICICI Blue Chip Fund 10,000 rupees, Motilal Oswal Large and Mid Cap Fund 15,000 rupees, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund 10,000 rupees, SBI Multi Cap Fund 10,000 rupees, Nippon India Small Cap Fund 5,000 rupees, and we are going to replace your SBI Aggressive Hybrid Fund where you were allocating 5,000 rupees with a UTI aggressive hybrid fund of 5,000 rupees. And there are a couple of points to note here. Obviously, we know that the valuations are expensive in the mid cap and the small cap space today. So it is only appropriate that we play the mid cap by through a large and a mid cap fund and a multi cap fund. So that provides us with a diversified exposure to all the market caps without taking a concentrated bet on any one particular sector. So that is with respect to what your overall portfolio looks like as we speak today. And we also recommend taking a small 7 to 10% exposure to gain exposure to the US markets, predominantly through international feeder funds, which most of them today are on a pause due to RBI restrictions on overseas investments. But once that opens up, that's also an avenue that we would encourage you to consider going forward. So if you have this portfolio, I think you should be on a good track to reach your investment goal of 3 CR in 10 years, assuming that you increase your SIP amount to about 90,000 rupees.
All right, that is a strategy recommended to money. And with that, it's time up also on the Money Show. Thank you so much, Varun and Pankaj, for being on the show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries live. And before I sign off, I'm going to leave our viewers with our WhatsApp number and our email ID, because looking at the markets, if in case you are also confused about how to protect your mutual fund gains or portfolio gains, we can address all of your portfolio queries live with our experts. Just send across your queries on 865-797-4571, our WhatsApp number, and the Money Show at etnow.tv, our email ID, where you can send across your portfolio details. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.